Just always set the class up. Like, you don't have to ask. You enjoy it.
Hey, Shalom, Toronto. Yah Bashim Yashar Barakatham to all the brothers. Yah Shemal Tham Bashim Yashar to all the sisters. Priest and Officer Shah Yohanna and the Commanding General YAHANNA. And this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Tonight is Wednesday's night law class. All right, every Wednesday night in Toronto, we'll be doing law class at the Public North Central Library. All right, if you're in Toronto, you want to join with us. All right, make sure you come out every Wednesday night. Bring your questions. We got the answers. All right, so every Wednesday night it's law class. Make sure you hit those sign-in links. I got the sign-in links in the chat. Make sure you hit those sign-in links and make sure you sign up before the end of the class. All right. You can also support us. All right. You can also support us. Get those likes up. We're live on YouTube, Facebook. All right. We're on every social media platform there is. Make sure you like us. Like, share, subscribe to our channels. All right. And so that will get it in. This class is for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. That's what the I.S.U.P.K is for. That's what this law class is for. All right. In the scriptures, it says, if the people would turn to their God in the land of their captivity and turn from their ways, that the Most High would hear their prayers and bring them back together as a nation. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we've been scattered across the entire earth, to the four corners of the earth. That's why we're called the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We're a scattered people. We're a people with no identity. We're a people with no leadership. And it's about time that we return back to this Bible, turn back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what this law class is about. This law teaches us how to live, teaches us how to be men and women of integrity. Those are the things that govern a nation. Those are the things that help a society run. And there's no better society than the one that the Most High laid out for the children of Israel. If you look at those so-called Jewish people there today, see how successful they are as a nation. They're only keeping part of the laws, statutes, and commandments that we read about in this Bible. And yet they're able to flourish as a nation. You understand? They're able to flourish. They're able to make good business decisions. They're able to have good family unit, good family structures, good communities. And that's what it takes to build a nation. We don't have that in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. And so what we're doing every Wednesday, we're giving our people back those morals. We're giving our people back those structures. We're giving the people a way to run their households, how to treat their wives, how to treat their husbands, how to conduct themselves when they're with their friends, their family. Understand? That's what we read when you go through all through this Bible. And it's crazy because, just a small side story, growing up, when somebody presented the Bible to me, it was told that this Bible was a moral code. It was a way to teach me how to be a good citizen. Not only a good citizen, but somebody who had more morals than the rest of the world. And unfortunately, in Christianity, they didn't teach me how to be a moral person, because Christianity doesn't teach you to follow the Bible. What we're doing every Wednesday night, we're teaching you how to follow the Bible. We're bringing out these laws, statutes, and commandments, and we're teaching you how to make these laws practical, how to bring it in your every day-to-day life choices, right? Matter of fact, we can start there. Let's jump to the book of Ecclesiasticus. I believe it's Ecclesiastes, I think it's chapter 12 and verse 13. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, yeah. Chapter 12 and verse 13. Okay, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Okay, this is King Solomon telling the children of Israel the conclusion to his walk through life. Understand, this was the wisest man to ever walk this earth. and he left a lot of wisdom behind for the children of Israel. So when you get to the end of Ecclesiastes, he was telling you this is the conclusion to the purpose of life, the point of life, what everything is about. Okay? He says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. He says, number one, fear God. And that's something that Christians don't teach their congregation. They don't teach the people. We got a Christian church in every ghetto, barrio, and reservation, and nobody ever taught us to fear God and what it actually meant. Well, when you fear something, right, it pushes you to have a certain action. You understand? If you ever grew up with a father, and that man was telling you to do something, if you had a certain fear for him, you took out that garbage. You understand? You did your homework when he told you to, because you understood if you didn't, a punishment was coming with it. You understand? And that's the kind of fear that we should have towards the Most High. When he tells us to do something, we should be afraid of, what's the word? The consequences. We should be afraid of the consequences that happen when we don't listen. Understand? For example, he tells you, it says in the book of Proverbs, it says, a whore is a deep ditch. You understand? A whore is a deep ditch, meaning if you're a man and you choose to be with a sister who, she's loose, she's a whore, she's going around sleeping with different men, well, then you should expect to get trapped. You should expect that there's going to be poor consequences or tough consequences that come into your life because of your life decision. You understand? So the Most High tells you the whore is a deep ditch. Stay away from her. Beware of that woman. You understand? That's a commandment from the Most High. And so if we listen to our Father, then we'll avoid those consequences. But if we do listen, you find yourself a righteous sister, you find yourself a sister with some shame, a sister that covers herself up. She's not there out there every summer doing some hot girl summer. You understand? Partying on the different Girls Gone Wild and whatever it may be. Like we see a lot of our sisters in these music videos. Understand? You stay away from a sister like that, you're going to have yourself a good marriage. You're going to have yourself a good relationship with a woman you can actually build something with. That's what these laws, statutes, and commandments are here. All right, we got laws in the Bible that tells you not to strike somebody. You shouldn't put your hands on another sister. You understand? You're a woman. You shouldn't put your hands on a brother. You shouldn't put your hands on your husband. You understand? That's a law that's in the Bible. We keep those laws. Think of all those domestic calls that get called to the police because somebody can't maintain their emotions. You understand? Somebody can't maintain their integrity. And because of that, you wind up getting the police called on you. And next you know, you're dealing with the police and the court systems, and you got a rough relationship. So that's what we're teaching every Wednesday night. That's what this law class is for. That's what it's about. Make sure you tune in. And with that, I'm going to pass the class to Priest Officer 1000 Tabadi.
All right, so you take this. All right, Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yashai Barakah Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Thumb Ba'Shem Yashai to all the sisters. Again, this is the Wednesday night law class. We're live. You should come and join us. I know you're tired of your city being shot up and all the drugs in your neighborhood and your woman stepping out on you because you don't know how to pick a good woman, right? I know you're tired of that man who, or for some of you sisters, the different men who come in and out of your life on a regular basis and he don't stay because you don't present to nothing to stay. Right, a lot of you sisters were naked on Lakeshore this past weekend. Yeah. You got them cheeks. Them cheeks were outside. They were outside, right? A lot of you sisters were totally naked, talking about it's Caravana, it's Carnival, it's Caribbean culture. Listen, being naked is not Caribbean culture, right? I understand it's hot in the Caribbean, right? I understand it's hot in Trinidad and Jamaica, but you don't have to be naked. That's not your culture, right? In Toronto, they charged you $40 to get into a cultural event that's supposed to be yours, and none of that money is going back to your neighborhood, right? Tap and like, tap and tap and tap the screen, share these tapes, share these classes, right? But we're going to be talking about the law. This is something that's going to help your community, help your family. You're tired of seeing your family fight at every damn cookout because they don't know the law. And your Christian pastor, according to him, the law is done away with. I seen some Christians yesterday on the curb, and I was just asking them some questions, right? Just to see what Christians say, right? And we do not care about who is Little Tay. I don't know. Is that Asian girl? Like, I just don't care. That has nothing to do with us, right? You go do your own TikTok live and talk about it's rest in peace, right? Hell is hot, right? Except in Canada when it freezes, right? We just don't care about anything that's not Black, Hispanic, or Native American, right? So I know it might be hot outside, but put some clothes on, right? Again, a lot of you sisters were naked outside. Your pastor told you the law was done away with. I spoke to some Christians the other day. I asked them if they could eat dog. Are we allowed to eat dog? And one said, listen, you can eat what you want, but we are this devil. He actually said we're civilized now. So he's saying it's an uncivilized thing to eat dog, but we can eat whatever we want. Do you hear the double talk in these hypocrite Christians? Right? So again, we're live. We're going to be talking about, and my topic for today is Tory Lanez, right? It's about picking a good partner, right? Because Tory Lanez, even though his dad is a preacher, pastor, whatever he is in that Christian church, when he wants to be yelling outside of them courts, right? Talking about his son, right? He should have told his son the law. He should have told his son the law still stands today, right? So that's what we're doing. We're going to be talking about the law, right? Again, a lot of it could be a holy Orthodox church. It's unholy in there. They're more than likely eating pork in there. They're more than likely telling their members in that body they could get divorced, right? More than likely in any place that says a holy Orthodox church, they celebrate Christmas, right? More than likely in any place that calls themselves a church, right? They are celebrating their birthday, right? Someone wants to be a guest. Right? So we're going to be going in on our topic today. And our topic is, so Lakia, Shariwan, pull up there should be an article on Tory Lanez being sentenced to 10 years, right? And that's what happens when you don't, you see when you're told you could just do whatever you want, you're going to get sentenced to 10 years. Okay, that's why that's happening. Yeah, that could be 12, right? Hold up, let me just fix this camera. Shariwan's going to be reading for us in a moment. Okay.
Got it when you're ready.
Yeah. Right. So you can read it whenever you're ready, Shariwan.
Come. This is an article from CBC News. It says Canadian rapper Tory Lanez sentenced to 10 years for shooting that wounded Megan Thee Stallion.
Right. So Tory Lanez, he went to trial because a woman he was with said he shot him. Right. Many people believe like Tory Lanez didn't shoot the sister. Right. Some people believe the two sisters, who one being Kelsey, Megan's ex-friend, like they're not friends anymore. Right. After the shooting, they stopped being friends. Right, which makes absolutely no sense, because you would think if someone tried to take my friend's life, that would just bring me closer to that friend, right? But something was going on. Either way, Tory Lanez is now serving a 10-year sentence. He might be innocent, he might be not. Who knows? The point is, stop fucking with Salakia. He might be innocent, he might be not, but the point is, stop messing with hoes. Right? Now, if Tory Lanez was, look, see, the TikTok numbers be dropping now. I said stop messing with hoes. The TikTok numbers have started plummeting. Good night. No one wants to hear that. Listen, the hoes are cool according to TikTok, right? But yeah, they said they gave Tory Lanez 10 years, Juan, right? I'm not sure if I pronounce it. I know sometimes in the Spanish the J turns to an H, right? But let's say Juan, right? Listen, they said they gave that brother 10 years. He's getting 10 years because he doesn't understand. He made a song when he was going through his trial called All Praise to the Most High. He sounded like a Christian, like them Christian Israelites, right? In the UPK, we say Most High in Christ because we know we can't do anything without the Most High in Christ. Tory Lanez said all praise to the Most High, and the Most High did not help him, right? Because Tory Lanez is sinning when you sleep with a woman who sleeps with everybody, right? Megan Thee Stallion's listen, she has a list of brothers she was sleeping with. They said the baby came out not shortly after Megan went up and told Gail, after Gail caught her in the lie, right? The baby came out and said, listen, I was sleeping with Megan before Tory, or right around the same time, right? Can I explain Proverbs 30:4? Let's see. If I have to know this answer, I'll give you the answer right now.
I got it.
Yeah, can you read Proverbs 30:4?
Come. Book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 4. Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fists? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell?
All right, so for that question, I would advise you to tune in Saturday. We'll go live again Saturday and break down that question. I have to check with Officer Bun or General Mahayaman for that answer, right? But let's get back to our topic. Yeah, so if you could just check back in with us on Saturday, or you could check back in on Thursday. Thursday we have a scripture breakdown. We'll get the answer for you, right? But again, we're talking about Tory Lanez and the law class. Shariwan, can you get me Deuteronomy 7:6, right?
Come on.
And see, that's what's supposed to happen. If you don't have the answer for something, you're not supposed to just say whatever you think, right? If I don't have the answer for something, I'm not just going to tell you what's on my mind. That makes no sense. What the hell is that? Shariwan. Shariwan's going to ask me, Zabaja, Officer Zabaja, sir, how do you get to the CN Tower? I'm going to say, listen, all right, so when you come out of where we're at right now, the answer is go south, right? You go south, but I'm going to tell them go north. And when you get to Steeles, make a left. And then when you get to Bathurst, make a right. Or not, if you really just took in what I told him, I told Shariwan to go north and go north some more, right? If I didn't know the answer, the thing I should have did is say, I'll get back to you, or let me ask the men above me. So I'm going to ask the men above me for that question, and I'll give you the answer next week. Now, if you come back, Lord allow. If you don't, especially if you're a brother or sister, definitely come back and take in these classes, because this is how you keep relationships going, right? With these classes, this is how you keep brotherhood going. Did y'all see what happened in Alabama? Montgomery, Alabama. Let's give all those brothers a hand, right? Listen, I don't condone sisters really jumping into no war that men are fighting, but I seen some sisters, listen, giving a old white devil, a cave roach, one of them cave roach daughters, right? They gave Becky the hands. Listen, them lionesses of Judah. Good night. Don't be playing.
Was that a sister that threw somebody in the water?
I'm not sure. I have to go back and watch, but there was a point when the old brother in the white and black, I think it was stripes or polka dot shirt, whatever, he was choking out that old devil right before the old one got hit with the chair, before she got the WWE chair. Listen, good night, man. Them chairs, man. I'm telling you, them chairs. Give a shout out to Officer Malak, because them chairs. Good night. Listen. All right, y'all seen what happened? Some devil decided to attack a brother, and another devil, and another devil, and a few devils tried to jump this brother, and this brother sent the Negro back call into the air. He threw that hat on that slave port, on that port where they used to sell slaves, on that old Mississippi River, because these devils didn't want to let Harriet move, right? Listen, that thing is the whole thing spiritual, Shariwan. The boat named Harriet, they used to sell slaves on the dock. It's Alabama. Good night. It's a spiritual thing. They said niggas can't swim and niggas know how to swim. You see how they always like to say everything about what a nigga can't do? How a nigga don't know how to swim, and I've been swimming since I was in grade 5. Right? Make it make sense. Right? If you go, you know they know how to swim in Jamaica, right? People jump into that water and jump from that boat when those tides be too much, right? But the point is, what happened in Alabama was the spirit of brotherhood. You seen it. And them people aren't even in the truth. They don't even, their pastors tell them they don't have to keep the law, but they had the spirit of brotherhood, right? And that's what we're supposed to have. We're supposed to have the spirit of brotherhood, right? So again, this is the law class. We're going to be going in, right? Give a big shout out to Commanding General YAHANNA for keeping this truth. Commanding General YAHANNA is the reason why Black men in your city are learning. Slovakia, keep this up. Black men in your city are learning not to shoot up their neighborhoods, right? That's because of Commanding General YAHANNA, right? I'll give you an example. I was a curse in my city. I'm in the city of Toronto, and I was a curse in this city, right? Nothing good was I ever doing in this city until I seen, now keep in mind, I've seen everything evil in this world. I've seen so much things that I thought I couldn't see anything else, right? And then I seen General Q, right? General Kobalamoth, listen, I knew this nigga was powerful. This man was talking and he was saying some stuff, and listen, I was listening. I'm like, God damn, I never heard this stuff before. And then some devils came up to us and they were acting like, one was acting like he wanted to fight, and one dropped to his knees on command and started kissing the boots of black men. And I've never seen that before. I've seen black men make black men get on the ground, not get up off that ground ever again, right? I've seen those type of things, right? But I've never seen a black man get an oppressor to kiss his boot and submit to him without a gun. And General Q did that. And I said, listen, that was signing day. I signed a lifetime contract with the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA that day, right? It was such a good thing. Now give Commanding General YAHANNA your tithes money and a hand, because he's the reason why I'm not a curse again in the city of Toronto. He's the reason why I'm now a gift to the city of Toronto, like my namesake, right? He's the reason why me and Shariwan are together. Listen, we're raising hell up in here. They don't like the things we say. They don't like the things we do, because the things we do are for the Lord. The things we do are for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The things we do is because we realize we're a separate people, right? And we realize we're supposed to keep the law. This is something Tory Lanez should have known, right? He wouldn't be doing 10 years right now. Officer Shaw, you want to keep reading that story?
Come. A U.S. judge sentenced Canadian rapper Tory Lanez to 10 years in prison on Tuesday for shooting and wounding hip-hop superstar Megan Thee Stallion.
He shot her in the chest. You would think. Now listen again, for what's that word? Like, I'm gonna say it like this, right? We're not condoning any violence against women, right? We're not condoning any domestic violence, right? Now, if the brother Tory shot that sister, that brother needs to go sit in jail, right? He wants to be, that's what he's on, and that's what he did. He needs to sit down in jail. If he didn't, that's a whole nother story, right? And Lord allow, he makes it back home to his family. But the lesson he's learning right now is to choose a better woman, right? The lesson he's learning right now is how not to sleep with hoes, right? Now he's being sentenced to 10 years. What year is it right now? It's 2023. In 2033, Tory Lanez should be home if he's not out on good time. Let's say with good time, he's out in 8 years, maybe 6. I'm not sure how the system in America, excuse me, I'm not sure how the system in America works, right? But if Tory Lanez goes through with this sentence and he does every day in that sentence, he'll be home in 2033. He'll definitely be home sometime around 2030, right? That's almost 7 years from now. And good night. All right, so let's get into it. Officer Shariwan, what else is in that article? You can keep reading that article.
Khan says, Los Angeles Superior Court Judge David Hereford handed down the sentence to the 31-year-old Lanes of Brampton, Ontario, who's convicted in December of 3 felonies.
Oh man, is that what they're doing over there in the bees? That's what they're doing in the bees? Them niggas from Brampton, y'all be shooting girls now? Good night. Listen, when I was growing up, they said Brampton had all the girls. Shaywan, you probably never heard this, Shaywan. You were down south in crocodiles and sandy beaches, Kodak Black and them, eh? Hanging with the Zoes. Nah, Shaywan was not with the Zoes because Shaywan was born when he came to Canada, right? You Christians might not understand what I'm saying. I'm saying the men in the UPK have been born again as well as the sisters, right? Now, listen, I don't know what's going on in Brampton. They used to say all the girls are in Brampton. Tory Lanez he had millions of dollars. He could have got one of them fine sisters from Brampton and took her up out. Now, Brampton is not really the mud, right? But from thousands to millions, that's damn like that feels like the mud to me. He could have took one of those sisters up from nothing and made her famous. He could have, listen, he wanted to write songs. This is how you know it's all Tory Lanez. What are you doing? Tory Lanez should have had the law. Tory Lanez wanted to write songs for Iggy Azalea, right? That's she's a New Zealand white girl who has the black scent when she raps. But when she talks, she speaks like she's from Britain. Like when she raps, though, it's from deep south. Like I can't tell if she's from Georgia or Texas. Sure you want. But when she's speaking, she sounds like she was a part of the royal family, right? Well, Tory Lanez wanted to write her some music, Salakia, right? He wanted to get with Megan Thee Stallion, right? And it just didn't work out. Right, Officer Shariwan, can you read Deuteronomy 7 and 6? Because this is something Tory Lanez should have understood, right? And because Tory Lanez didn't understand that, he's all messed up in the game right now, right? He's going to be serving 10 years because he didn't want to understand that he needs to, Salakia, he needs to choose better women. So Shariwan, you can read.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right. So this is what we're reading now is the Most High is telling Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that we are a holy people. Right? We're a holy people. We're a separate people. Right? We're not supposed to act the way the rest of the world does. Right? You got now listen, in a Caucasian culture, right? It's a very popular thing to get with the woman who's been with everybody. Right? She's they look at her like she's a celebrity because she's pretty and everybody wants to sleep with her, right? That's a Caucasian thing. Just look at all the stars in white America, in white society. I know I'm on TikTok. They probably gonna kick me off eventually, right? But look at all the stars and all the celebrities in Caucasian culture. All the stars and all the celebrities in Caucasian culture, they all sleep with each other, and the women get passed around, right? You see it all the time. The women, they just get passed around. That's not what the Most High wanted for us. We're supposed to be different from them. We're supposed to be separate, right? Show you one. You can keep reading. What verse are you at?
Verse. That's the end of verse 6.
Read that one more time.
Come. Verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right, a holy people, a separate people. You're not supposed to be the same as everybody else. It just doesn't work out when you want to be the same as everybody else, right? Keep reading.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Hold up, Shariwan. Let me get with you right quick. Where are we at?
Around 6. Oh, so like it's 7 and verse 6.
God, I'm just pulling it up on the computer. Right. Keep. You can keep reading now.
Come. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Special is not the same as everything else, right? We were special unto our God, right? That's how we're supposed to carry ourselves. Listen, you want to sleep with what's wrong with you, brothers? Some of you brothers want to sleep with just anything that has a tail and some lumps in the front, right? And a pretty face, and especially if she got that tail outside, you brothers, man, you can't listen now. I can't. The old me used to like to see a naked woman outside, right? Every caravana, I was outside. The new me, if a sister looks too naked, I don't even see the sister. Like, meaning I would rather give her a flyer to my school, the QR card code to my school, so she can scan it and see our social media and see sisters who don't dress naked, rather than take a chance and get with her. Right, I'm a very particular brother. A sister looks good until she opens her mouth to me, and once she starts talking, it's forget this sister. I ain't wife her already. I ain't sleep with her already. I don't have to keep her. I don't have to text her no more. Right now, this is what happens to a lot of you sisters. Except the brother already slept with you. The brother slept with you, and then he tried to build something with you and hold a conversation. And the stuff you said out your mouth. That mouth is going to get you into so much trouble. Listen, Clarissa Shields, she's a boxer, right? Talented sister. I wish no one ever taught her how to box, because what she's doing right now is setting black women up. And she's going to set herself up for failure because she doesn't know how to control her mouth. And if her husband was in this class, because sex is marriage, she has a man that she's sleeping with. If her husband was in this class, he would have told her how to watch her mouth. And this simple sister, she could throw a punch really good, but she thinks that she's going to go fight a man in her weight class that's a professional boxer too and outpunch him. Good night. What is wrong with you? Right? Okay, so Shariwan, you could drop that. There's some more that we could go into, right? The Lord, he chose us as a special people. We're not supposed to be like everybody else, right? We're supposed to be separate. We're supposed to, Salakia, be just different from the regular people in this society, right? Was this plugged in? Okay, yeah. So we're supposed to be different from the regular society. We're not the same as everybody else, right? But there's a system that's designed to make us as everybody else, and we're supposed to separate from that system. Your Christian pastor, he wants to be like everybody else. He doesn't want to separate. He wants to worship Christmas. He wants to celebrate his birthday. He wants to sleep. He wants to be like his brothers, right? Christ wanted to be like his brothers, But the Christian pastor, he's taking it to another level. He wants to be like his brother and sleep with his brother's wife, right? That's different than what Christ was doing. Christ wanted to be born like his brothers, meaning Christ's mother slept with his father to make Christ. And I asked a Christian that the other day too, and the Christian looked at me dumbfounded, like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how could you sleep with a woman to have a baby? And I was just wondering if this Christian was LGBTQ or not. Like, because like the way he looked when he said it, it's like, good night. But Christians, I know what y'all do. I know exactly what y'all do. Y'all Christians like to say Jesus wasn't born through sex just so you can have an excuse to keep sinning. Right? So you can have an excuse to say, I don't have to keep all of the law because only Christ could do that because he wasn't born the way we were born. He's mythical, right? He's magic. He's a alien, a superpower, right? When you could be the superpower in your city as well. All right. Someone told me the other day that there's blame the leadership. And I said, who's the leadership in Canada? I don't see them. I've been looking for the Black leaders. And because I couldn't find them, I found Officer Shayuan. And I said, we'll be the leaders. And we just say Kana Wan Khan to the men above us. And they instruct us how to lead and how to do things and how to war and how to take over cities and how to build up your family and how to keep your family together and how to check your woman when she's being unruly. Because some of y'all brothers don't know how to check a woman when she's being unruly. Y'all think throwing a fist is how you check a sister. When, listen, with a sister, you don't need your fist. All you need is your words. Your words cut deep when it comes to a sister. You can say 1 word, 3 words, or 1,000 words and still get the same result from that sister if you know what you're doing, right? But you got to be professionally trained. Right? You want to be professionally trained, start by getting in these classes. Right? That's how you get professionally trained to check your woman and keep your family and your household. Or if you're in the world, people in the world say my kingdom. Your house is your kingdom, right? All right. Well, if your house is your kingdom, well, there's a way to keep your kingdom in order. You'll learn that in these classes. Aside from that, listen, good luck. Absolute good luck. Because, well, again, we don't believe in good luck, but right? Lord be with you. Lord be with you if you're trying to figure out how to navigate the world and this oppressor's kingdom without being in here, right? So we were, again, this is a law class, right? We were given a law. There's specific laws that if Tory Lanez would have listened to these laws and was giving these laws, he wouldn't be in the situation he's in right now, right? But if you ask Christianity, there's no law. Listen, Christ said, love your brother and love God, right? I'm paraphrasing, and Christians say that's the only law. That's why when I ask Christians if the law is done away with, they say, what law? I say, well, the law of God, that law God has. They say, well, see, we're not dealing with the law of Moses. And that's what I ask them, can we eat dogs? And I just wait for the hypocritical answer. Then I laugh after I'm filming them. And I tell them on camera, listen, this was straight gold. You made the blooper reel. Good night. They get offended after, but it is what it is, right? So we're going to find out that this law is for Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? He only gave it to one people. Now, this is not a class to prove that Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians or Native Americans are the Israelites. We have several camps, several tapes, several classes. Hell, we'll do that breakdown on Saturday if you like, right? But we got several tapes and over 1,000 hours of film talking about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites, right? Officer Shariwan, if you could, can you read Psalms 147 and 20, right? Because we're finding out who this law was given to. Again, this is the law class, so we're going to deal with the law. But first, we got to find out who the law was given to. You're going to find out it was only given to the Israelites. So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. These are all the people who were given a different language, right? Like you got natives. Like Spanish people are natives, right? One was taught in some cases, one was taught English, could be French, one was taught Spanish, right? But that's what happens when you conquered as a people. When you don't keep the law of your great power, right? The Native Americans would say the Great Spirit. Well, if you don't keep the law of the Great Spirit, right? And most natives know they came from the East, right? Majority of natives know they came from the East, right? It's in their origin stories. If you don't keep the law of your forefather, you're going to go through a rough time. It's going to be horrible. You're just going to go through it, and there's nothing you could do about it, right? Officer Shariwan, if you could.
Come. So Psalms chapter 147 and verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Right. So what you're finding out is the Most High showed his word to a one particular people, right? He showed his word to Israel, to Jacob. Most of y'all can understand that Israel is Jacob, right? Jacob is Israel. Jacob was a brother who had his name changed to Yashra Allah, right? Prince of the power, right? But he showed his law to Jacob, right? And that law is what governs us. That law is what keeps our families together. That law is what will make a man jump into water to save his brother. That law is what will, the law, like you could say the law will, it's going to make your life better, right? For some people, and I pray you don't end up one of them, the law is going to destroy you, right? Because you are breaking the law. Now you're under the law, and you're gonna find yourself being punished, going through the punishments of those commandments, right? Now listen, I'll just keep it funky with you. A lot of times you hear sisters talk about, oh, the brother was I'm gonna say this in the best way possible, right? There is a law on how to deal with a woman and how to deal with your marriage, right? A part of that law is no separation, right? Sometimes sisters, they just get tired and they're not fighters. Sisters are runners. Majority of sisters are runners. I'm talking to you brothers, right? This is something you're going to have to figure out on your own. Majority of sisters are runners. They never stick around for anything, right? And this is especially sisters in the world. And this is not talking about any sister in the I.S.U.P.K, right? Because them sisters, good night. Them sisters in the I.S.U.P.K are valuable, right? I don't like to use the word strong, but in this purpose, I'm going to use the word strong, right? Them sisters are strong, right? And I'm not talking physically. I'm talking with the mental, right? They know how to stick next to their men. Sisters in the world, y'all be running from man to man to man to man, and then your daughter's pregnant by your husband, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And you don't even know what's happening. And she was trying to tell you that Larry was looking at me a ways the other night, but you weren't listening. And now she's 17 and pregnant, and you're just wondering why Larry was always taking her shopping. Good night. Like, well, listen, man, you should have stayed with that one husband. You know, the one you said was no good because he didn't want to work. Good night. The husband you said, that you a no good nigga. You said he was a no good nigga because you came home from working and he was in the same spot you left him when you woke up. Well, you chose him, right? You were supposed to stay with him. Well, again, this law was given to Israel. Listen, if your sister, okay, back to what I was saying. If a sister was to leave a man, right, back then, no one was supposed to marry her. If she got caught in adultery, she would be brought to court and be given a sentence. And the sentence for adultery is extremely harsh. There's a reason, because we don't want adultery in Israel, right? If you're looking at what happened to Tory Lanez is in his position because of adultery, because of whoredom. Tory Lanez doesn't want to listen. Tory Lanez's father, who is a preacher, didn't give him the proper instructions, right? Show you one. You can keep reading.
Okay. Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
Right. So he showed his word onto Jacob. That was what we read in the verse before, right? And he never dealt so with any nations, meaning if you're not an Israelite, this law doesn't, it has no, this law is not for you. It wasn't for you. It wasn't given to you. Right. So you have people say we all sin. Listen, you weren't given the law, so you're technically not sinning. You're doing exactly, even though it's you're doing abominations to the Most High. You're doing exactly what the Most High knows you're gonna do. The Most High made these nations, these heathen nations, to be a stumbling block for Israel. Right. It's like he made Esau to punish blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for when we disobey him. Right now, you have people with little hats, the issues, the ones who call the police on the I.S.U.P.K, right? You see in Toronto and Canada, there's a group of people who say they're Jews, right? And they always bring up Germany and a Holocaust they went through as if their 6 million is greater than the 99 million blacks who went through it and the millions upon millions, right, of Native Americans. Over 100 million Native Americans have been put to death and their blood has been shed because of this oppressor, right? Well, those people, those Jewish people, they like to call the police on us and try to have our venues and events shut down because we're teaching contrary to what they believe, right? They say they're the Jews of the Bible and no one says anything about it. But if we say we're the Jews of the Bible, it's a problem. For example, y'all see what happened to Jamie Foxx, right? They were bringing this up on Blackwatch not too long ago. Jamie Foxx said something towards the effect of if they could kill Jesus or something like that, like they did it to Jesus, what do you think they're gonna do about to me? And Jewish people who don't even believe in Jesus, show you one. You know, them Jews don't believe. Them Jewish people don't believe in Jesus.
God.
They Old Testament only, Tanakh and Torah, right? They say Jesus is an idol, right? He's not the Messiah. Well, if Jamie Foxx is talking about Jesus, how could that be anti-Semitism, right? Because the Jewish people don't even believe in Christ. So how could that be anti-Semitism? And Jamie Foxx, because Jamie Foxx is a coward, he apologized, right? Jamie Foxx, instead of fighting on that dock in Alabama, he would have jumped into the water. Marlon Wayans would have did the same thing. Marlon Wayans would have told on Harriet when she's trying to free the slaves, right? But there's a people who say they're that nation and no one says anything. So now when blacks are saying we're that nation, we're the Most High's chosen people because of what we go through and the curses. They hate us because God loves us. No one should even bat an eye. No one should say anything. It should just be like, oh, okay, the Jews are black, whatever, right? If a black man says he could put on a dress and be a woman, no one says anything. Let a black man say he's a Jew, it's a problem. Well, Tory Lanez's father should have taught him he was a Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, right? And maybe Tory Lanez wouldn't have went after Megan Thee Stallion, right? Bubba Kashaw, can you get me Romans 12:2? Right.
Okay.
Now, as we go deeper into that Tory Lanez story, we found out he was wifing up and we say wife because I say wife because sex is marriage according to the Bible. Some of y'all might not like that, right? And I noticed that the TikTok numbers, listen, as soon as we started talking about no whores, the TikTok numbers, they went down. Good night. They don't want to hear that. Well, it's something that should be said. It's something that everyone is supposed to know, right? You're supposed to just know this thing that as a black man, you're not a Hispanic man, a Native American man, you're not supposed to be with whores, right? Loving whores is something that worldly people do, and we're not supposed to even be in this world. We're supposed to be living like we're not of this world. Shaiwan, whenever you're ready and you have that verse, you can read it.
Come. Spoke of Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. Be not conformed to this world.
Right. So we're not supposed to conform to this world. This world is full of whoredom. This world is you see in this world, what do they teach people in this world? You could just hook up. In this world is hookup culture. Right? Just hook up and listen, I used to wonder what hookup meant. Hooking up is a Caucasian's way of saying random sex. Not casual sex after the club. Don't even find out if this woman has an STD. Don't even find out if this woman, if you get pregnant, is she going to kill unalive your baby. Don't even find out if this woman has a man who thinks that that's still his woman, right? That's why a lot of you brothers be dying, because you get with a woman who has a man, right? And you think that, okay, just because she said her and the man is broken up, that relationship is over, right? The Bible says not to lay with or go around a woman that has a man. She's sleeping with someone already, and now because she's in her feelings, she told this man it's over, and this man said, what the hell do you mean it's over? And he goes over to that house because he still has the keys and catches you in there. Now the Glock 43 is outside, and you're laying outside while the paramedics are picking you up because you wanted to get with a woman who had a man, right? Be not conformed to this world. This world will tell you, sign up for Bumble. This world will tell you, sign up for Tinder and Plenty of Fish and whatever dating website, so you could go meet a woman. And listen, when they give you the commercials on your Facebook or on your social media, it's always some scantily clad woman who is wearing absolutely nothing, leaving the man's apartment, and the man's like, yo, you know how many women I hooked up with? Right? Well, that was Tory Lanez's problem of how many women he could hook up with. I seen this not too long ago. Listen, I went out with a brother in the world, and the brother in the world was so focused on how many women he could get to a point where he's trying to talk to another man's woman. You gotta pull this brother aside and be like, yo, my guy, what are you doing now? Like you're about to get us into a situation where we're gonna have to put hands on a brother when the brother is in the right. But because the brother is gonna be trying to attack you, we're gonna have to defend you, right? And he didn't understand. Listen, I don't go out with that brother no more because he doesn't understand. Another man's woman is another man's woman. Leave her alone, right? She has been with 10 men in the last couple months. Leave her alone. She neighborhood. Listen, a lot of you sisters be called neighborhood in your neighborhood, and y'all don't even know why. Y'all don't even know they're calling you neighborhood. You've been sleeping with everything that walks, right? A lot of brothers. Good night. A lot of brothers, y'all be sleeping with the same women. Y'all line up and you put a bunch of women in a room and a bunch of brothers, and you do connector lines, and it starts to look like Charlotte's Web. It starts to look like Charlotte's Web. Y'all can't tell who's who, right? It's a horrible thing. Brothers be having to do paternity tests to figure out who the poppy is, and it's a difficult situation. I had a brother in the world who, because we were young and we were just chasing all the tail we could find. Listen, I had a tail and it was walking. We were chasing it, right? It was a common thing for a brother in the world to say, listen, there's an old Benjamite saying, right? There's an old Benjamite saying, and good night. Listen, they say a woman's genitalia has no face. That was the nice way of me saying it. There's a vulgar way of saying it as a Benjamite. right? But in Benjamin might say a woman's genitalia has no face. That means they don't care what the sister looks like. They're just going in to go in and get out, right? Especially after the club when the Hennessy and the white rum and all that, all the drugs you were using starts to hit, right? Salakia. Show you one. Can you keep reading?
Okay. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Be ye transformed of the renewing by the renewing of your mind. What does that mean? Like what are you transforming? The renewing of your mind, right? It's basically not thinking how you used to think. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this much. Be glad this verse applies to a brother like myself, right? Because my old mind, when I didn't have no money, good night, nothing was safe. So I just good night, man. A stick of kid, a dope boy's worst nightmare. You had to sell them drugs. Hey, okay, you selling them drugs for us? That was my mind state. You selling them drugs for us, right? What's in your pocket? What's in our pocket? That was my mind, right? I had to renew my mind, right? If I need some cash, I'll just call my camp leader, right? If I need to provide for myself, I'll just go get a job, right? Listen, that brother has something that looks like it's valuable. Well, it's stealing. I can't go after him. I just got to chill out. I got to show that brother some brotherhood. You brothers be selling dope. I got to tell y'all to stop selling dope before the raid comes. And then you guys are calling me later telling me about the raid. Y'all are calling my phone and telling me about the raid that just happened. I'm like, well, I stopped doing that such a long time ago. I don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna call you back. So I'll talk to you when you're on the road, man. I'm teaching a class right now. I gotta go. But you gotta collect call from I can't accept this right now. I'm live in this class. Good night. Well, what we're learning is not to be like our oppressor, who are the children of the devil. That's what we're learning. We're learning not to be like the Caucasian man who's been a devil to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans throughout the earth, right? Renew your mind. Think differently. Don't think that because that sister has her assets out that she's going to be a good wife, right? Don't think that, listen, what you want to do is think that, listen, that sister, she got her whole body showing. I should stay away from her. Why is she twerking on that stage like that? I should stay away from her. She's singing about WAP. Listen, some sisters, good night. Some sisters, listen, all sisters get lubricated, right? All sisters have something that the Most High gave them, right? All sisters have genitalia, right? You rapping about it and singing about how lubricant you get that doesn't keep a man, right? I'll tell you this much. Cardi B singing about, now Cardi B, his sister, she has her moments when you're just like, yo, get his sister a hand. She talking right now. She talking some facts. She got her moments, right? The sister not the brightest, not the sharpest tool in the shed, but then she has her moments when it's like, girl, what the hell are you doing? Right? But I'll tell you this much. When she said she don't cook and she don't clean, those are just bars Offset wrote. Offset just wrote those and said, this is going to sound good. Right? But when Offset was getting the backlash, Offset turned around and showed her cleaning. Like, listen, she was in the whole robe with the broom. Right? She Simeon, right? She Dominican? Yeah, I think Cardi B Dominican, but she was in that Dominican robe. She might be Puerto Rican, but listen, she was in that Dominican robe with the broom in her hand. Now listen, that Salakia, I'm just gonna say it like this. When I see my rib with a broom in the hand, I'm just like, oh yeah, this on now. Salakia. Listen, we about to Salakia. I just keep to myself, right? But it's more attractive to see a woman with a broom in her hand than to see her naked. Like, what do I care if you're naked? I seen another meme, right? Y'all sisters, no men aren't excited about lingerie because y'all sisters be wearing them outside with the Air Maxes. I said, good night. Listen, this is kind of I can see that kind of being true because I see sisters walking outside and they be full out naked, and it's just not attractive to me. It's not. It looks like child support. Like when I see you sisters with everything hanging out, I just think, oh man, she's gonna put me on child support. The sister pretty. I'm like, man, I might go get her, and I'm like, man, she's gonna put me on child support, right? This sister says, hey, and I'm like, oh shit, her voice sounds so nice, and damn, she's gonna put me on child support. Good night. She's gonna leave me, put me on child support, and get with my homie. Good night. Well, I don't have no more homies in the world like that, right? But y'all understand what I mean. A lot of brothers, y'all got women that leave you and go get with your friend, right? Like I seen this. There's a loud sister and some effeminate brothers. They do this like talking episode thing, or like I guess it's like they talk in front of an audience and give relationship advice, and people ask them questions. And one of the sisters from the audience said, "Listen, why do men get mad when a woman who they weren't treating well goes and starts sleeping with their friend?" I'm like, did this woman just ask that question? And that's what I'm talking about. Some of you sisters, y'all are really pretty until you open your mouth. You just say like the most like illogical thing, as if you have no home training. Right? All right, show you one. What else we got in there? Anything else in there?
Come on, God. That you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Right. So you want to change your mind so you could show what the good is, right? You want to prove what is that is good and acceptable, right? Well, what does the Lord accept? That's what you're trying to figure out. What does the Lord accept and what doesn't the Lord accept? What you find out is the Lord accepts you to be you want to follow his will. His will is keeping those commandments, right? Now we're gonna go through some of these things because you want to know what. Listen, okay, not just to say what his commandments are, right? But you want to know what the will of God is and what does it mean to follow him. A lot of your pastors ain't, or your spiritual leaders, they're not telling you what it is to follow the Most High. Right? They're not telling you, okay, this is how you follow the Most High. This is what you want to do. This is how you're going to carry yourself. Right? But there's a will and there's a way that the Most High wants you to live. The Most High's will is obedience, doing what he says. Don't question why you're. Listen, I'll tell you this much, right? Okay, we'll say it like this. Confession is good for the soul. The Most High doesn't want black men to sell dope, right? And I used to be an evil brother in the world. And one night I had to go make a purchase so I could get back to the money, right? A lot of you brothers in Toronto understand this. You run out of what you're selling that day, and the phone keeps ringing, and all you're thinking about is all the money you're losing, right? And you're like, damn, I gotta go get that money. All right, so I'm outside. I'm trying to get what I need to get so I could go back to where I need to go back to so I can get back to the money. And I'm in a neighborhood where I know this neighborhood is bad, right? And I have an illegal firearm on me. It's all good for me to talk about this now because I already did the time for it. The police already know about it. This is in the past. That there's nothing bad that could happen, right? And I end up getting into a life-threatening situation. And here's what you have to know. The Most High said he suffers a witch not to live, right? Standing over that stove and cooking that work or whatever they want to call it, that powder into crack cocaine, it's like a witch with a cauldron, right? The Most High said, I suffer you not to live. And listen, I almost ended up not living that night. It was pretty bad. It's what brought me closer to the truth, right? Because some time later, I had to go do some time and I ended up hearing the truth, right? But the Most High he didn't want me doing that. and I got into a situation where somebody tried to take my life. And listen, if that bullet went 5 inches up or 5 inches down, I wouldn't be here today. There wouldn't be an Officer Zabaja, right? Hey, Shalom, Yao, Shamar, Thumba, Shamar, Shai to the sister, Barak Wana. So what I got these headpieces. Give Barak Wana a hat. these war stars. Good night. I'm feeling it.
Good.
What's this?
Just out.
Oh yeah. Now there's like, listen, even a sister like Krishan Rock, right? And Blueface is making bad choices. This sister has a bad choice in women, right? User, whatever is asking what this live's about. Well, this live is about teaching brothers not to get with whores. All right. If you're Black, Hispanic, or Native American, we're about teaching our brothers and sisters not to get with whores. You didn't even want to hear that. User said, "Oh no, I'm out. I don't want to hear that." Like, dropped right away. Good night. Oh man. Well, listen, that's what we're talking about. Shariwan, can you get me Deuteronomy 23 and 17, right? Now, Tory Lanez, his father's a preacher. His father should have told him this, right? You look at a sister like Megan Thee Stallion, that sister is no good, right? Maybe she could get in a class one day and learn how to be good, right? But right now, that sister is no good. She's just doing the most, or was doing the most, just like countless other sisters who get into that music industry, right? A lot of times, and sisters in the music industry, they are doing a lot of everything just to get a beat from a producer, right? Like, here's the crazy part, right? Show you one. These sisters gotta sleep with a producer for a beat, right? And then the producer still damn near charges the record label for that beat down the line.
Right.
And on top of that, when the music starts to get played and the residuals start to come in from the music, if there's $1 made, the producer who made the beat, who made the sister sleep with him to get the beat, he gets 50 cents out of every dollar.
Okay.
So she gave up her box and 50 cents on that dollar for the music. And at the time, she ain't even getting that 50 cents because the label, that's the producer's side. Now, the other 50 cents is supposed to go to her label, and she's supposed to get her cut out of that. And at the time, the label don't even get no money out of the. She's not getting no money because the label eating everything. And the label's the one telling her, listen, you got to rap like this. You got to talk like that. You got to dress like this. You wasn't shaking that tail enough in that video. Right? You got to be a little more naked in that video, right? Sleep with this person and whatnot, and it just keeps going on and on, right? Salakia. This is something Tory Lanez was supposed to understand, and a lot of you brothers and a lot of you sisters are supposed to understand. Shariwan's going to read it for you right now. Shariwan, can you read? I need Deuteronomy 23 and 17, Baba Kashar.
Come, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 17.
Hold up, let me get with you, right? Just understand, like, what? Okay, here's the next thing. Before we go on, right? A lot of you brothers have daughters, and you're gonna be pissed off once you start to see how your daughter is living when she starts to get a little older. As soon as she starts to get to high school, and you think she's going to school in that track pants, but under the track pants, she got the mini skirt. And it's not even a mini skirt, it's like a piece of fabric. And she, because of the woman you bring in and out of your life and your daughter sees it, or because you chose a woman that wasn't good, and that's her mom, she's not wearing any stockings under those mini skirts. Right? This is something I used to see in high school a lot, right? Them girls and Esau's daughters and even our sisters who be wearing those kilts to school. There's nothing under them. And it was like in high school, I'm in grade 9, getting to high school, and all these grade 11 and 12 girls, that's how they're going to school. And that shit was mind blowing. That's like, what the hell? I didn't even know this was happening. Right. And you wonder why your daughters are getting pregnant. Right. Because a lot of times you're not even going to the fathers like hoes. Fathers who like hoes, y'all, that's what y'all raise. Right? You don't want no hoes. Well, stop liking them. You don't want your daughter to be a pass around. Your daughter is gonna get the nickname neighborhood because you like neighborhood hoes. Right? It's that simple. Shaywan, can you read Deuteronomy 23 and 17, Baba Shah?
Okay. This is Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
Right. We're not supposed to have whores in our scandalous women in our nation. Right. It's not supposed to happen. Right. It's a I'm not just gonna say it's a plague. It's a damaging thing to have whores in our neighborhood. Hold up.
Good night.
Oh snap! Shaywan just showed me something. Good night. Shaywan just showed me a meme where it says a married woman. Obviously, this is a Caucasian woman we're talking about, right? But some of y'all sisters want to be like Marilyn Monroe. That's your idol. Y'all want to be like the Caucasus woman, right? Y'all want to. Some of y'all brothers, especially y'all sisters worship that devil Caesar Borgia and say it's a black man by the name of Christ, right? But some of y'all brothers and sisters, y'all worship that Caesar Borgia image so much, and y'all want to be like the devil, right? But this lady, she just said she slept with 40 men on her 40th birthday as a present to herself. Good night. That sounds like she gifted herself AIDS on that day. On this day, she gifted herself gonorrhea, right? There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, right? We're not supposed to have sisters acting like Megan Thee Stallion and Summer Walker. And listen, just insert the name of any of those scandalous women and just keep going, right? We're not supposed to have those of the daughters of Israel. Keep reading, Shariwan.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Right? Now listen, a lot of you brothers be borderline LGBTQ because y'all sleep with a woman that you know just left her man's house. And y'all would take it a step further and sleep with her with no condom. Right? I'll give you a story. I went to Jamaica, right? I went to Jamaica to my mom, she gave up the ghost, so we had to go bury her, give her a burial, right? I did a way better job than what the pastor was saying. The pastor looked at me and he gave me the head nod like, Dad, you should have just been hired. Good night. Right? But this is the point of the story. I was outside in the neighborhood with my cousins, seeing a sister. I said, Dad, that's a bad sister. One of my cousins said, well, listen, if you go up the hill and go down the hill, you'll catch her. She's going to the shop more than likely. She's going to the shop. And I said, okay, I could just wait for her to come back here. If I really wanted to talk to her, she's coming back. He said, no, just run down the hill and you can catch it. And like, you get a one slam. This is what he's telling me. He's telling me to go run around and sleep with this woman I don't know. So I said, wait, why would I do that? He said, well, you have to catch her before she goes back upstairs, because if she goes back upstairs, that's her man house and you can't get with her up there. And I said, she has a man. Why would I get with her? She has a man. Like, what's the point of that? I do not want to do that at all. And he said, no, there's nothing wrong with her. I said, yeah, that's kind of gay. And if you know anything about Benjamites, right, you can't call the Benjamites gay. They're going to look at you like, nah, Benjamites hate being labeled anything gay and fight that spirit of homosexuality because of what the tribe of Benjamin went through in the past, right? Where they were almost killed off because of homosexuality, right? In a civil war that happened. So the brother said, no, you can't go and get with her when she comes back because her man, and I'm like, nah, that's gay. And he's like, how is that gay? And I said, so 1 second, you want me to go up the hill, come back down the hill, catch the sister, talk her out of her panties, and sleep with her, right? And I noticed you didn't say make sure you have on a condom. He said, well, you don't really need condom more time. You can just pull out. And this is genuinely the conversation that this man is having with me. And I'm looking at, and this is an older man too, right? I'm in my mid-30s. This man's damn near in his 40s. And I'm like, yo, what is going on the island of Jamaica? So I had to break it down, and I left him speechless. And I hope he took heed to what I said. Because he said, listen, he said, you could go do this. And I said, you telling me to go do that. And you didn't even say go do it with a condom on, like STDs aren't a thing. He's like, oh, you could, like, basically he's telling me not to worry about that. So I said, wait, how do I know she didn't just sleep with that man upstairs with no condom? Right? And he said, I don't know. And I said, so 1 second, you're going to tell me to go upstairs and sleep with this, go to around the corner and sleep with that sister with no condom, though she might have slept with this man with no condom? So I said, I basically asked him if he's done it. He's like, yeah, man, there's nothing wrong with, it's a girl. It's not like you're gay. How could that be gay? And I said, so one man drops juices in her, and then you go swim in that man's juices. And he looked at me like, what the hell did you just tell me? And I said, that's why I'll never do that, because that's how that's gay. Salakia. That was just my story, so you could understand. Sometimes I could be long-winded with these stories, but I got to give you all the details, right? So sleeping with a woman that already has a man is gay, and the Most High said, what, Shariwan?
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel, right? Read verse 18, Shariwan, Baba Kasha.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore.
Right. Don't bring a whore. Like, don't go get with no whore, right? Keep going.
Or the price of a dog.
Keep going.
Into the house of the Lord thy God for any vow.
Right. You don't want to be vowing to no whores and making promises and doing things like that, right? It's not something that is tolerated in Israel, right? Sleeping with a whore is a disgusting thing, right? Keep reading, Shaywan.
For even both of these are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Right. Listen, you get with a whore, you hire a prostitute, you pay for her box. It's an abomination unto the Lord. There's a thing called super gonorrhea, right? I'm not sure if many of y'all know about that. There's a thing called super gonorrhea. I'm gonna end that live on TikTok for now. Right. Hold up. I do want to get somewhere else real quick. There's something called super gonorrhea, right? And penicillin, the best penicillin is not working against it. So what are you going to do, right? The best thing for you to do is to not sleep with any whores. That's literally the best thing for you to do when it comes to a woman that's a whore, right? A woman that has another man, a promiscuous woman is to leave her alone. Don't touch her. Don't bother her, because you're more than likely going to get a STD or an STI, sexually transmitted infection, right? And either way, they burn. Like, listen, your hot summer is going to, it's August right now. It's August 9th right now. And traditionally in Canada, especially in Toronto, around August, summer turns to winter, right? It's hoodie season again in the summer, right? But if you get with a whore, or you sisters get with a man after the club that you don't know and you just want to sleep with him, your summer is going to turn into burning. You're going to have a burning summer. Hey, if we're on TikTok, Salaki, we're on Instagram. If you're watching on Instagram, this is the Wednesday law class in the city of Toronto, right? We're at the Salakia. We're at the North Central Library. That's 5120 Yonge Street, Every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m., we're going to be here, right? You should come and join us. It's free to join. These classes are better than any class you'll get at York University, University of Toronto, or Ryerson, right? Your church is not going to do a better job than what we're doing right now, right? So again, you will be taking that box, not to say take like you're taking it, but you be going into these sisters without finding out who they are, what their history is, if they have STDs, they want to be with you forever. You just want lust. You just want that one night of gratification, right? It's summer right now in Toronto in August, and summer's getting cold, but the rest of your summer is going to be hot, 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 hot. It's burning, right? I pray you don't have to go through that. I pray you don't have to understand the burning sensation of your lust.
Right.
Right. Show you one. Can you keep reading? Was that it?
That was the end of verse 18.
That was the end of verse 18.
Okay.
Now so Tory Lanez was supposed to learn this not to get with any horse, right? This is something that his dad could have taught him this fast, but he didn't want to listen. A lot of you brothers are going to find out the harsh way of what it's like to get with horse. Listen, a lot of you brothers are getting set up by these women, right? It's becoming you'll be getting with these women after and finding out that she's setting you up to be robbed or murdered, right? Either one. In most cases, both. She's setting you up to be robbed and murdered, right? I know a brother who lost his life a while back. He went on a date with a woman, and the woman told his so-called enemies, and they came and lit that brother up. And it was sad because I knew this brother. This brother was talented. This brother was extremely talented. He could rap. He could draw. Yo, you know those videos you see of the brother? He's making the beat with his hand on the table and he's rapping at the same time. That is an extremely hard thing to do, right? If you think that it's just easy to remember the cadence and the flows and the lyrics to what you're saying while you're making the beat at the same time, and you got to keep that beat going, right? It's not easy. It's a hard thing to do. And this brother could do that, and he passed away because according to the streets, right? According to the streets, she set him up, right? A lot of times this happens to you brothers, and it's sad. Listen, you'll learn slowly. You'll learn. Hopefully you'll learn, right? Tory Lanez was supposed to learn this, Shaywan, not to sleep with horse. Shaywan, when has a hoe ever did anything good for the black community? Right? Like when did like these men are gonna act like yeah, she a hoe, but I can trust her. What? How can you trust her? You can't trust her to not give the box away. How can you trust her with anything else? She a hoe, but listen, I'm a make her a good wife. Here's how some of you sisters sound. He a drug dealer, he a scammer, but eventually when I have kids with him, he's gonna slow down and get a job. God damn. What are you talking about? He going, listen. He spends all his money in the strip clubs where I met him. But I'm gonna convince him to buy a house one day. And here's the brother. She makes all her money in the strip club where I met her. Good. But I'm gonna convince her to go get this 9-to-5 one day. my nigga, listen. Good. If the hoe was in the strip club where you met her, that's you bringing her here, where we could teach y'all both to change your life and give you new names and renew your mind. She gonna be a hoe, right? That hoe gonna be a hoe. Like that brother who tricks on them hoes, he gonna be a trick because he doesn't understand what it's like he doesn't know what it's like to change. He's never had anybody change. Christians, you tell Christians. I listened to Captain Tazariak today give a story about what he was going through in the world, right? And Cap said, listen, because of Christ, I was able to change my ways, and now I don't sin anymore. And these Christians said, no, you got sin in you. You're still gonna sin. It's your nature. And I'm like, what? How? So what these Christians are basically saying is, and this is Christians cut themselves when they say stuff like that too, right? Because okay, on one hand, a Christian is saying you're never gonna change. It's in you. And on the other hand, a Christian is saying love that oppressor because he said Jesus and now he changed. Well, no, that oppressor is never gonna change. You don't have to love him, right? But we understand the children of Israel can change, right? Everybody else, good. I don't know, man. Y'all just go enjoy your time. Go get them gym memberships and treadmills. Go do all that stuff you want to do now because a black man named Christ is coming very soon and it's going to be bad, right? But again, you're supposed, there's a law for whoredom. There's a law for brothers who take on whores, and you're not supposed to, right? Tory Lanez was supposed to find out that sex is marriage. Show you one. Bring us to Exodus 20 and 16, right?
Come.
1 second. Let me get with you. Tory Lanez, his dad was supposed to tell him. His pastor was supposed to tell him. Someone was supposed to tell him that sex is marriage. And you got to be careful of who you sleep with, right? You just don't want to be giving everybody the... Listen. You don't want to give every sister the rod. Some sisters do not deserve it. This is what I'm talking to my brothers now, right? Some of these sisters don't deserve the sex that you're going to give them, right? They don't deserve it. You're a good brother. You got your... Listen, you need to come into the school and sit down with us and learn how to be a more excellent brother, right? But you're not no drug dealer. You're not no thug. You're not no gangbanger, right? Listen, I take all the drug dealers, all the thugs, and all the gangbangers. Come to this class, right? I need some niggas without fear, right? Come to this class so I can teach you not how to be this, be that. I did it. If I did it, you could do it, right? If I could switch my life and not be a man that chases whores, not be a man that walks around the city of Toronto with an illegal gun. And we sure you want them illegal guns. You can get them faster in Toronto than you can get a decent paying job, right? Now, you got to come here and learn how not to do it, right? But Tory Lanez was supposed to learn this, right? There's a bunch of brothers who were supposed to learn that if you sleep with a sister, you got to take care of her for life. You got to keep her for life. Listen, she might have money. She could take care of herself. You don't have to do that much taking care of, right? Financially. But you got to be there for her. You got to be the guidance. Some brothers might not have money financially because it doesn't even... Money and being rich is... Listen, you could be rich and then the government frees your money like they did Kanye. Now you're rich and you're just dumb, right? It's better to have wisdom than to have money, because you could be rich and go spend all your money in a strip club and think you're gonna take this woman who's a stripper. She sells her box in the back of the strip club, and you think you're gonna make her an excellent mother. That's the mother I want. That's the woman I want for my child. Oh my gosh! Like, listen, you want her to be a mother? She's not gonna be there in the late nights, right? You want her to be a mother, she's going to kick you out the house and have Larry, Mike, and Joe Brown in the house when you're gone at work. Or if you're still in the house, right? Good night. Sex is marriage. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. Sex is marriage is something that you should learn now. You should teach your children so they don't end up like Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez is in this situation because he was sleeping with a woman. And then he decided to sleep with her friend, and the woman they said Meg was sleeping with the baby. Meg was trying to have a baby with the baby. Meg was doing the things that make babies with the baby while she was with Tory Lanez. And when Tory Lanez seen Kylie Jenner, he wanted Kylie Jenner, which is, again, because Tory Lanez is a Christian and his dad is a Christian, his dad didn't tell him to leave them heathens alone. So now he's stuck. He's messed up in the game now. And two women started fighting over Rod. Now, a gun went off. We don't know what happened, but there is speculation. It's the speculation. Listen, I ain't going to put on a tinfoil hat, but I just want to know what Kelsey, what she get immunity for, right? Again, it doesn't even matter. Tory Lanez is learning right now. Hopefully, someone sends him a letter in there with a UPK flyer, and he can come in through the prison program, because we do have prison programs that help brothers, right? We have a whole prison program that helps brothers and sisters to not go back to prison, to not be in them jails, right? Where were we, Shaywan? What do we have?
Exodus.
Yeah, I wanted that Exodus 20, Shaywan.
Come on, let's look at Exodus chapter 20, verse 16. Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Whoa. That it? No. I said 20 and 16.
Okay.
That's not it. I'm looking for entice a maid. That's not it. Yeah.
After 8 p.m. and the library will close at 8:30 p.m. Less than 30 minutes. If you need to register for a library
22
card,
and 16, Shaywan.
library card to borrow materials,
Okay.
do so now. The customer service desk on the first
Let's
floor.
look at Exodus chapter 22, verse 16.
Right. Read it a little louder, Shaywan.
Come. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed,
Keep going.
and lie with her.
Right. So if a man spits game to a woman who's not courting, right? The maid is a woman of marriageable age. The entice is spitting game. You know, hey baby, you look beautiful. Your eyes look like heaven. Listen, you can say some. Listen, you want to know how to salak here? Just go listen to some Benjamin reggae for a little. If you want to hear some game, listen. That Benjamin reggae game is out of this world. A man, Cartel might look at a sister and say, "Your eyes look like heaven." Good night. I don't know, but you spit game to this sister, right? And you entice her, and y'all go do the thing that makes babies and makes you married, right? That's what it's talking about, right? Entices to spit game, and maid is a woman that is of marriageable age, right? Not betrothed is a woman that's not courting a brother, right? And lie with her, meaning you sleep with her, you had sex with her. Shariwan?
He shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Right, he's going to endow her to be his wife, right? Now, they're going to have to, first off, she has to agree to be his wife, right? A lot of you brothers, you get a sister who you thought she was going to be your wife after that first night in the club. You thought, listen, I got it. The dance in the club was nice. I spent a whole $300 on a bottle of Hennessy. I don't like Hennessy. If it was me, I'd get Casamigos, right? Casamigos is for partying. Hennessy's for fighting. Salakia. Don't take me to counsel, right? But y'all spent a bunch of money. This brother spent so much money on that bottle. He's like, listen, I'm going to get with this sister. I'm going to get with her. We're going to go to my car in the parking lot or an Airbnb or a hotel. Some of you brothers, y'all just take these women to the car and y'all thought she was going to be your wife after, right? And now you did this Saturday night going into Sunday morning, and it's Tuesday, and you sent her 15 text messages waiting for a reply. And she's not replying because she's not thinking about being your wife, right? Well, if you have sex with a woman, she's supposed to become your wife. She becomes your wife, right? Because again, sex is marriage. It's a union. It's something that you do. It's a union you make before the Lord, you and that woman, right? Sure, you want to get me Matthew 19 and 18. See, I brought this up to understand that Tory Lanez was supposed to understand that once he had sex with Kelsey, right, that was his wife, right? Now, there's rules to this thing that we call marriage, right? Like a man can't sleep with a woman and then get her sister, right? Now, that's not saying Kelsey and Megan are actually sisters like that. But they were friends. They're close like sisters. It's not wise to get with a woman and then get with her friend, right? It's not a wise thing to do, right? And the type of woman that Meg is, she did not tell her friend that she was sleeping with Tory Lanez as well, right? And that's what happened. That's what led to their fighting, right? Because the story goes, Meg is getting upset that Tori is flirting with this heathen that he shouldn't be flirting with, right? Tori, he just picking bad women because he doesn't understand what it means to even pick a righteous sister. A lot of you brothers don't pick good women. You pick the woman that's naked. You pick the one that could, the one that raps about how lubricated she gets. You pick the one that could twerk on top of the car, right? You're not picking the one that's saying, listen, I'm trying to be a doctor so I can help my people. I'm going to school right now, but at the same time, I'm chilling. I'm trying to find a husband. You're not, look at the passport, bro. So a lot of you brothers are saying, listen, I'm too weak to get this woman here in my own country. She's just too unruly. Listen, some of you sisters are unruly. Some of you sisters are damn right unruly. But a lot of you brothers are just weak. Like, it's not good to be weak. You want to go get the passport. So you want to be a passport, bro, and go and get the woman from, you don't want to go to Thailand. Y'all want to go to Thailand, and good night for you guys going to Thailand, because there's a thing they have out there called lady boys. I don't know what you passport bros are doing, man. Good night. But listen, y'all wanted to go to Thailand and go get that woman, right? And not understand that there's a certain way you're supposed to deal with your sisters, right? You're supposed to vet your sister. Show you one. What were you just reading?
I was back in Exodus 22 and 16.
All right, get me Matthew 19 and 8, Baba Kasha.
Okay.
Right? There's a way you're supposed to deal with women. Some of you brothers are going to these countries, right? And you're thinking that I'm gonna get this woman and she's gonna be better than everything else I had. And it's never the case. Y'all men are just going not for a woman. Y'all are going to have sex, right? I'm gonna say it plain and simple. You're going to these other countries and saying you have your passport so you can have sex, right? You're not going for the librarian over there. You're not going for the nurse. You're on the beach looking for the same woman you could have got over here. It's just one wants a green card, so she's not gonna act crazy until she gets her green card. And the other, listen, she just doesn't respect you as a man because you don't give her nothing to respect. Right? I'll show you one. Let me get that Matthew and 19 when you're done. Tory Lanez was supposed to understand that if you have sex, you're married, right? Tory Lanez was supposed to also understand this part that I'm going to read right now, but he never had a pastor break this down. I don't even know if the pastors know this, right? The pastors probably don't even, more than likely, don't understand what I'm about to read right now. Show you one. You can read it whenever you get it.
Come. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 8. He saith unto them.
Read from 7.
Come, verse 7. They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away?
Right. A lot of you brothers and sisters, you are getting divorced at an astronomical rate because you're making bad choices. You're not picking right. You're not seeing if you're compatible. You're not courting for 6 months to a year. Listen, even up to a whole year and a half, 2 years if you have to, is a good courtship. Get to learn this, sister, because it's for one night of pleasure. You're going to have to keep this sister for life. After she finds out about your 10 other ribs, and after she's busted the back window of your car for the 10th time with the brick that says cheater. Like the sister wrote cheater on a brick with lipsticks and threw it through your window 10 times. And good night. You want to leave her now. My nigga, just go get some counsel. Go and get another rib and court this one this time. And more than likely, the one that keeps busting your windows, as she doesn't change, she's going to leave, and you won't have nothing to worry about. You'll be all right. She's going to leave, right? Because you want her to change. And listen, you know what the greatest advice I ever got, right? And this actually worked. Now, I didn't think it wasn't going to work because I'm already too seasoned in the UPK. I just wanted to see it work to be like, oh, okay, right? I called my general, General Muhammad. I need counsel. He said, "What's up?" I said, "This is the situation that's going on." He said, "Okay, Ak." I said, "Yeah, what do I do about it?" He said, "Do you want it to change?" And I said, "Khan, sir, Khan, I need this to change right now." He said, "Go to war." I said, "What? Go, huh?" He said, "Yeah, go to war." I said, "Salaki, sir, that's the problem right now. We're warring." Yeah, go to war. All right. I went to war. Give General my iron that I had. I went to war. Good night. Listen, if you want something to change, you have to make it change. You have to be the change, right? Show you one. You can keep reading.
May I have your attention?
Verse 8, he saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so.
Keep reading.
Verse 9, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife,
May I have your attention?
except it be
Now,
for
a
fornication,
library will close
and shall
in
marry
15 minutes.
another,
If you are borrowing library
committeth
materials,
adultery.
use the nearest
Right.
check
So who basically what you're finding out is Moses was granted divorce because we're hard-headed. We are a stiff-necked people, so hard-headed. I'm telling these sisters right now to choose better when it comes to men. I'm telling these brothers, listen, stop messing with these hoes, and they be jumping out the live. Listen, I don't want to hear that. It's summertime. I'm about to go to the beach right now. I'm like, all right, brother. If that's what you say, I'm gonna check in on you later and find out. Well, listen. I will just see which of these brothers had the horrible life after. A lot of these brothers don't want to listen, man. They have the horrible life, man. Tory Lane should have listened. I'm quite sure he's seen us talking on the internet, especially in Canada. There's no way you don't know who the ISUPK in Canada is. Everyone knows who we are, right? They know who Commander General YAHANNA is, but do they want to listen? I don't know. But Moses didn't want us to give us divorce because it wasn't supposed to be, so we're hard-headed, right? A man's not supposed to put away his wife. He's not supposed to just go sleep with any woman and then get rid of her outside of her sleeping with another man, right? Any man that just gets rid of his woman to marry another woman, this is something the Christian church does a lot. They tell the side girl, well, basically, you have to get rid of her so you can get with me. How about I just keep both of you? Both of them. I don't know. It's like, two's better than one. Listen, I got one hand and now I got two. You know how much I can do? I can hold 2 precept books. Good night.
I got it. Maybe we can get under this oppression in Canada.
Maybe we can, Shariwan. Maybe we can. Maybe black households might start staying together, Shariwan. Maybe they just might stay together if that sister stops trying to fight the brother over the next man. Yeah, okay, sis, I'm gonna break something down to you, right? Do you know why? Now, this is not the case. This is not an end-all, be-all for all cases, right? Your man has another man because you're unruly. You are a dragon in your house and he doesn't want to be around you. I said it. Look, see, now you know. Now you know why your man is not home. He doesn't want to be around you, right? But that's not always the case. Some brothers go outside and play basketball and go to the gym. Some brothers don't want another woman, but they might be around their brothers because brotherhood is good, right? Some of you sisters are just jealous of other women, so you have no friends. And it seems like your man goes outside all the time when you should be going to your sister's house. You should be go check them on your cousins and them. Like, you got family too. You got a life too, right? Show you one. Was there anything else in that?
Come. And whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery.
Now, Tory Lanez, you were supposed to understand this, right? Someone tell Tory Lanez this. Write him a letter and let him know if you touch a woman who left a man, you committed adultery. She left that man, you committed adultery. Right? I want to share this.
So I
God.
That was some good advice that a man above me gave me. If you're out there just trying to court a sister, and she says that you know what I mean, because one of the things we're taught, one of the first things you should ask a sister is, you know what I mean, who's your husband? You have a husband, you married, kind of thing. And a lot of these women in the world, they're going to tell you no.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, damn near all of them are going to tell you no. You know what I mean? And if this sister's going around saying, well, you know, there was somebody I was dating or there was somebody I was seeing, you should get that man's number. You know what I mean? Call
Right.
that brother and check with him to see if he thinks that's his girl or not.
Yeah, a lot of times I would save a brother's life because that man thinks that's his girl and he's willing to kill. And listen, adulterous woman gets put to death according to the law of God. Now, I'm not saying obviously, I'm not saying go and put hands on a woman or put a woman to death who is sleeping, who left you to go sleep with another man. I'm saying let the Lord deal with it. The Lord will show you what's up. Listen, we see it all the time. All right. Tory Lanez is supposed to understand that when Ben Simmons put away Megan Thee Stallion, he was not supposed to get with her. When the baby put away Meg Thee Stallion, he was not supposed to get with her. Listen, the list goes long. I think they said G-Eazy. It's a white rapper. He's in the pot too. Good night, Shaywan. Listen, I got a couple more I want to get through. Right? Did you know STDs are in the building? Shaywan, get me, are in the Bible? Get me Deuteronomy 28:61, Baba Kasha.
Okay.
Deuteronomy 28:61. We're gonna rock out with this before, right?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
Hold on, Shaywan. Let me get with you. Shaywan, if there's anything you want to add, you could do that now before we wrap up.
Cancel.
All right. So I'm looking for Deuteronomy 28:61 because STDs are in the Bible. Now, a lot of y'all might not understand what the hell I'm talking about. Y'all might just think like, yeah, this nigga crazy. This nigga stupid, right? Listen, there was a time when I thought I was crazy. I used to walk around the city telling everybody, I'm crazy. I'm a bad man. Listen, I'm still a bad man now. I'm one of the baddest brothers you'll meet in this whole city, right? But that's thanks because of Commander General YAHANNA. And you might say I look crazy, but I think smart. I know not to take no women out the strip club. I know not to even go in there and think I'm going to get a woman. I know not to even go in there, period. Right? So listen, I look crazy, but I'm smart. I'm still dangerous. Y'all better understand. Good night. Now, I don't mean like I'm dangerous and y'all gonna put me on the terrorist watch list and stuff like that. I mean like what I'm teaching is a danger to Caucasian society because it's gonna raise black men from going into jail, and that's gonna endanger Barry, right? Right. That is going to put the Barry economy. The what is up there? What do they call up there? Damn, I had the name of it. They call that place a specific region, right? But north of Barry is gonna, if every black man listens to me, north of Barry's economy is gonna fall because we're not gonna be going into jail. That means we're not going to be employing half the town, right? When we go to jail and penitentiary, we employ half of Barry and everything up there because majority of the people work in them jails, right? So you want to read 28:61, Baba Kasha.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 61. Also, every sickness and every plague.
Oh, wait, y'all might not understand. This is the 28th chapter. You get curses and you get the good thing that's going to happen to us. If we follow the law, we're going to be going through good things. If we don't, we go through curses. Show you want to read some of them curses.
And every plague which is not written in the book of this law.
Start again from the top, show you want.
Verse 61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee.
Right, we're going to go through plagues because in sicknesses, that's STDs, right? Listen, you have this, there's a bird sister. This sister is a whole bird, right? And I say that exactly how I meant it. She a bird, right? She said, I heard you want a stud. I got the STD. All I need is the U. That's what this is talking about. Y'all want to get with these sisters at random, you're going to get an STD. All right. And it's going to be you involved because you want it to be that stud. You want it to be that stud horse that was walking around and just getting with everything. Now listen, there's something else that happened. I noticed too. Listen, there was the LGBTQ community in Toronto's Caribana. Y'all might not understand this. Listen, the LGBTQ community was in Caribana. I have the pictures. Listen, I don't live too far from there. I have the pictures to prove it. How many of you brothers were dancing on Transformers? Do you even know? Good night. Y'all don't even know if it was a Transformer or not because you didn't want to pick, right? Sure, you want to read that one more time? This is going to be the last precept.
Come. Also, every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Listen, you don't choose the right woman, you're either going to be Tory Lanez in jail for 10 years in California. That's crazy. Listen, that's wild, right? This brother was a millionaire. I can't see a millionaire kid from Brampton shooting a woman over what? Because two women want to fight? Listen, if you've been to Brampton, two women are always fighting over there anyways. What the hell? You don't know what's going on? Huh? But if you don't listen, you're going to end up with the STD and the sicknesses and the plagues. Once again, I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja of the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA. We teach that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites. We'll be back again next week at 5120 Young Street, right? Teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the Bible. If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, come and join us. I'm going to pass the class to Officer Shariwan. Clap it up.
These are the I.S.U.P.K. Come. These are the I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Wolfing a brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to show themselves of the world. They need transportation. The teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find it in Numbers 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. Ma'ashra means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests is not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We got the
Feast of Tabernacles.
We have the Feast of First Fruits.
No.
Salakia, September. We have the Memorial Blowing of Trumpets, which is the first day of the 7th month, which will be on Friday, the 15th of September.
No. Feast of Tabernacles. Feast of Tabernacles. You might be looking at the wrong date.
Come. We have the Feast of Tabernacles coming up, which is on the 15th day of the 7th month for 8 days. Salakia, so what come?
Yeah, that's the. No, that's not the calendar you want. This is the calendar you want. You want this one. Yeah.
This is one.
This Tabernacles is. Hold 1 second. We'll get with you in one moment.
Tabernacles on September 29th.
Tabernacles is the 29th.
Come. We have the Feast of Tabernacles coming up, which is the 15th day of the 7th month. So we have Friday, the 29th of September. You can read about it in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 34 to verse 44. If your brother or sister in the school, we're going to be having it this year in the UK. Speak to your camp leader if you want some more information. To any brother who wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. And a courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel and Majim, which means stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel and Majim Shabbat, and Majim, Barak,
Yahweh Shai Barakatham.
Yad Yamatah, which means hands down. If there's any sister in your presence, Sar, which means turn and face your sisters, men of Israel. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel and Majim Shabbat, and Majim, Barak, Yahweh Shema Atham B'Hashem Yahushai, Yad Yamatah, class dismissed.
Please note that all photocopiers will be turned off at 8:30 p.m.